The Queen of Granada, by M. Riff. Chapter 57, The Pallet. In the last while, the guitar had found its way to one of the guys who was experimenting with flamenco rhythms. Every time he closed his eyes to play passionately, the others urged him to calm down as people lay sleeping nearby. Eventually, he gave up, passed the guitar to the girl next to him, and stood up. As he stretched his back, he remarked, "Speaking of the energy crisis, our fire is about to die out." The girl handed the guitar to another man who eagerly reached for it and, in exchange, gave her his leather jacket. She wrapped herself up in it and commented, "It's actually getting quite cold." The guy who had stood up suggested, "A few days ago, I noticed some pallets at the nearby industrial complex. I think we can burn one of those." Tobar tried to dissuade him, saying, "At the police headquarters, they've probably marked our campsite on the city map. As soon as the neighbor realizes something's missing, he'll call the police. They'll show up here with sirens and flashing lights, scolding us and the elderly farmer." The guy responded, "No, they've thrown those pallets in the dumpster. They've discarded them." As he walked towards the industrial complex, he added, "You're turning into a true city dweller." Tobar understood what he meant but chose not to argue. He had, in fact, become a permanent resident and redefined the meaning of the word neighbor. When his daughter, Nuria, was born, his wife insisted they settle somewhere. They already knew some Romas who lived permanently in Granada, so they chose to settle there. Habits tend to sneak up on you. Just as trees grow roots and branches, humans establish themselves with electricity in telephone lines and water pipes. With a fixed address and a phone connection, Tobar had taken on a new role. When his migrant friends needed an address or phone number, they used his. His wife was growing tired of the situation as their house turned into a hub for postal and telecommunications services. Tobar also acted as an intermediary between the Romas and the local Spaniards. When they called him from France that they were about to set their caravan in motion, he asked the farmer for permission to use his land as they had in previous years. It was to ensure the farmer was still alive and the land still available. There was a risk the man had passed away, and the children had sold the place. Finding another campsite would be impossible, and Tobar would lose contact with his friends. He felt like a migratory bird that had chosen to build a nest at the expense of its wanderlust.